conduct business for our county and for our country and the county that we live in, we can exercise our freedom. As we celebrate this period of Lent, help us remember the sacrifice you made on our behalf. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Tom. Now, number 4 on our agenda, presentation and approval of bill. Manuscripts in your packet, there is those bills. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Make a motion to approve the bills.
Thank you, Magistrate. We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or discussion? And Ms. Paul, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft? Yes. Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell? Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
And Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Ms. Sharp, the bills from the Treasurer's Office?
Yes, ma'am. Bill is presented to you for rated for February the 7th of 2013 for your approval.
Make a motion to approve the bills.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Paul, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft? Yes. Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw? And Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Also presented to you in the Treasurer's packet for a monthly revenue journal, a warrant distribution, appropriation condition report, a funds receipt report, an expenditure transfer, and a financial statement from January the 31st, 2013.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second on the Treasurer's report. Any questions or discussion? And Ms. Paul, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft? Yes. Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell? Mr. Bradshaw? Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Ms. Paul. Next, we have the minutes from fiscal court, February the 5th. Motion is, action is requested, no changes need to be made.
Judge Roberts, did you invite Attorney Ferris here? Or did Martha? It's in the minutes that she did.
No.
Is that correct?
Yes,
No.
I did. He called my office and asked what to do about the letter he had written, so I invited him to attend.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that that was, I make a motion to accept the minutes as they are.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? And Ms. Bullitt, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
On departmental reports, Director Rowan Hanna is going to talk about JARC and New Freedom funding, and we have a second reading. Good morning, Ms. Hanna.
Good morning. I see everybody else in here with the cough and cold, so I shall do my best. I received a letter from TARC regarding two types of grants. One's in the Freedom Program funds, and the other one is for JARC funds. Eligible applicants are private nonprofit organizations, state and local governments, operators of public transportation services, including private operators of public transportation services. Eligible activities for the Freedom funding and the JARC funding are to improve access, improve efficiency, expand transportation services, capacity, improve transit-related coordination activities, enhance quality assurance, and improve education and marketing. The New Freedom funds are for capital and operating expenses that support new public transportation services and public transportation alternatives beyond those required by the ADA of 1990 that assist persons with disabilities in accessing transportation services, including transportation to and from jobs, employment, and support services. I contacted Nancy Snow with TARC to see if any of these funds would be eligible or available to the county for upgrades to some of our county buildings to make them ADA accessible. Under one of the modifications, it says that modification to physical environment such as curb cuts, sidewalk pads, detectable warning signs, busy intersections, and bus shelters. And I know a few years ago we got approved for funding for bus shelters, but I think the liability and the maintenance and upkeep is kind of a factor, is why we didn't pursue that any farther.
And the former magistrates did not want to pursue utilizing those funds.
And so I asked Ms. Snow if we could use any of the funds for the push button to open the doors that we have out in this courthouse, because I know several of the older buildings don't have those. Some of them don't have the handicap ramps, the curb cuts or cuts for the sidewalks, and curb cuts with the truncated domes. The crosswalks aren't clearly marked, and not all of them have handicap accessible restrooms. So all the questions had to be in by February the 15th. And she said she would send out the answers to the questions. The committee would go over them, and then they would let us know by an addendum. And I've not heard anything back to her yet. All applications have to be in by March 8th at 4 o'clock. There would be matching requirements. The local share of eligible capital costs shall be no less than 20% of the net cost of the activity, and the local share for eligible operating costs should be no less than 50% of the operating costs. There were several examples in that packet that I gave you, a list of examples. You can do it by net income generated from advertising concessions, total review credits, review service contracts, non-cash share donations such as volunteer services of in-kind contributions is eligible to be counted towards a local match. And I kind of guess that my question is, should these funds be available for updates of these buildings? Would we want to pursue this? And like I said, if you read through that, I think most of it applies basically to transportation rather than, updates to buildings and things. But I just kind of ask them, because under the ADA regulations, we do have to get our buildings updated.
The updates for ADA are required, I think, by federal law, and
praying to get this application filled out and get all the estimates and everything.
Okay, so, do you need an answer today, or based on the response you get?
Right, I guess you could make a motion depending on the response that I get from her, if the funds are available, and then move forward with it. Does that sound right, Monica? If they could make that kind of motion?
Yeah, I wasn't aware that it was happening to that as something.
Handicap people.
So we would still have, I think, the March 5th meeting, I think is the next.
And then
Deadline.
the application has to be filed Friday at 4 on March the 8th, so.
I don't guess you have any idea of the dollar amount you're talking about.
Not yet. I guess what I could do, I mean, this is kind of, you all make this decision, but, I could work with Mark, and we could, get the, find out how much everything would cost, get the application filled out. If they say the funds would be available for that, and you could vote on it at the March 15th. So however you want me to proceed, I will.
We need a motion to encourage her to pursue it.
That's up to you. If you want to do a motion or just direct.
Well, it sounds like it could be a good thing for us if we could get an 8% fund towards updating county buildings to comply with the ADA. And this building that is going to have to be done sometime. And so she has a couple of weeks to wait for an answer from the lady that has to answer her questions. And if that's a positive answer, fill out an application, to apply for funds. And we will still have March the 5th to actually vote, to go with it or not. And have to be applied for by March the 8th.
So you want to make a motion?
Well, I don't think we have to make a motion, but just to encourage her to pursue it. But I don't, I'm, as one individual, I'm speaking, telling her to do a lot of work. And if somebody else is afraid of it, it's a waste of time. I think it's worth pursuing.
Well, I suggest that we go and if there is a majority on this court who want Ms. Hammond to proceed with trying to get these funds, then that vote will show that. If there's a majority of this court who do not want her to pursue these funds, then that vote will show that.
second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Magistrate Bradshaw, would you mind if in the minutes it's stated in the new freedom and, excuse me, and/or job funding, because that's all this is talking about. So I need nothing in there, new freedom and/or job funding. Excuse me. Ryan, do you understand what you're supposed to do?
Yes.
And we'll bring it back to the March 5th meeting. Okay, any questions or discussion? We have a motion and a second. I do want to say, with the former magistrates, when, in my first term, a group of people did apply for this money, and we did receive the grant funding. I mean, we were eligible to receive it. We won, in other words, our application passed the test. I think it was like $36,000 to $40,000 we could use on bus shelters because of the wheels bus we had out here. Unfortunately, other folks did not see the need to utilize those funds. And therefore, that 30-something thousand, I think it may have been 40, went back to the New Freedom money pot and the JARC money pot. So that was disappointing that our county couldn't utilize that. Because after all, it's dollars. Okay, Ms. Cody, you call roll.
Ms. Ashaw?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Joanne. You want to go ahead and do?
Yes. Okay, I have a second reading, and it's for docket number 2013-Z02, Donald Edward and Janelle K. Underwood. They're asking to rezone from agricultural to R1 residential, 14.29 acres more or less. The Planning Commission heard this on January 10th, 2013. They voted to send a favorable recommendation to Fiscal Court because the existing zoning classification given to this property was inappropriate, and this requested zoning classification was more appropriate because this surrounding area is mostly used for residential purposes. This property is no longer used for agricultural purposes, and this request for rezoning meets the comprehensive plan for the area, which is low density suburban residential, and that is what the comprehensive plan calls for.
Okay, go ahead.
Second reading. Ordinance number 13-03, an ordinance changing the zoning from agriculture to R1 residential. The property in question is 14.29 acres more or less, located at 3768 Brooks Hill Road in an unincorporated area of the county. Be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of the County of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky, and summary. Number 1 sets forth that the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt, and more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in docket number 2013-Z-02, is hereby changed from agriculture to R1 residential. Given first reading at the regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 5th day of February 2013, and given the second reading on the 19th day of February 2013.
Hey, you got any attorney? Do I ask for opposition or was it the first time?
You do that at your first one.
I should remember that one now. But it changed so many times previously. Okay, so we just need to vote now and
I make the motion to approve this zoning.
I'll second that motion. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? And Ms. Boney, may call roll.
Ms. Ashball?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
And Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Rowan. Director Stowers, any news for us?
I don't have anything.
Thank you, Jenny. And Director Phillips, come on up here, Mike. Good morning to you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Please do what?
Yes, ma'am, there's two items that are before you this morning for your consideration. The first is an invoice from John Waters Incorporated in the amount of $5,500 for the labor and materials that were used to install the generator over in the new Red Cross building. If you all remember, this was a grant that we received through Kentucky Emergency Management Hazardous Mitigation side to install a generator that will completely run that entire building so that we can have a initial shelter in place with our agreement with the Red Cross. And the work is complete, and we need to get this paid so I get it submitted and get reimbursed.
I'll make a motion, we approve the $5,500, and this is coming from grant money.
Grant money.
I'll make this,
Hazardous mitigation grant program.
I'll second it.
thank you, Ruthie, our tax dollars coming back here. Do we have any questions or discussion on this? And Ms. Bodie, may call roll.
Ms. Ashball?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
The second item is a request to hire Marissa Bissett at the rate of $11.50 an hour at the Communication Center. Ms. Vincent will be replacing Mr. Skidmore, who is retiring on the 25th.
I make a motion, we hire Marissa Vincent based upon the recommendation of Mike Phillips.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Ruthie. Add the details, or based on the details we just spoke of, $11.50 per hour, full time. Any questions or discussion? And Donnie, Nicole Rowe.
Ms. Ashball?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, I have a question. Did you ever get anyone to hand in an application for hire that has been through the, has been certified?
Very rarely, but Ms. Davis, who you all approved to hire last fiscal court meeting, was actually,
And she pulled out, right?
no, she is,
Oh, is she still there?
she started last week, as a matter of fact.
What did she start at, 11:50?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, did she? I didn't know what, if they were certified already. What,
That's something we did not address, but that's
Right.
something I have in my notes, that as we progress in the discussions in the committee, to make you all aware of it as we proceed with more discussions within that committee.
Thank you, Mike.
And the only other issue, Judge, and magistrates, this will close out our fourth hazardous mitigation grant. We still have two outstanding that have been approved at both levels, the state and FEMA. We're just waiting for application. One is for $225,000 for 9 warning sirens, and then the last one will be for a generator placed at the courthouse, or the City Hall Annex in Mount Washington, which will be a secondary site for emergency management. And then they were, Mayor Calhoun has stated she would share the cost, the county's match part of that for the generators, so that we have a secondary EOC. So those should be coming in towards the end of this budget, so it's something we're gonna have to put in and be aware of in the next budget. Thank you.
I thank your department for writing those grants, and, if we didn't have someone to write them, we wouldn't be getting them.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll make sure Les knows that too.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Director Hawkins. Oh, Larry? Larry, come on up, Larry. You don't talk about Larry right now, don't you?
Yeah, I just want to
Good
give
morning to
a
you.
quick report. I want to thank the Bullitt County Road Department and Constable Wright and the
Bullitt County Detention Center, we received $76,274.09 to spend, and we were able to, I'm gonna say write off, this is not all solid expenses, but $127,288.58. So we're not going to be sending any money back this year, which is a good thing. They picked up 14,200 bags of garbage, and they cleaned 1,992 miles of road. So I'm proud of that for them. Recycling center recycled 176.3 tons of cardboard, plastic, mixed paper, aluminum, e-scrap, and metal. And we had an income of $6,491.80, which is down about half. And then we had a $2,725.60 revenue for cleanup days, with total $9,217.40 for all of it. So a little bit of income, and I don't have to send any money back, so I'm good, and the state has the annual report. If they don't find any flaws in it, we're good to go next year.
I have one question.
Okay?
Do you have any idea on a possible date when we can start sending shredded paper over?
I'm gonna talk to the company this week. Yeah,
We have tons of shredded paper
Yeah.
that weren't called out in trash.
yeah. I'm gonna talk to the company this week.
Okay.
Yep. Any questions?
Yes, did you get the prices on the Kane property, what it would take?
No, well, we had a pre-bid conference, and there was 11 contractors showed up. So their bids have to be submitted by 3 o'clock, March 7th, and then I will open them at 9, March the 8th, and bring them before you all with the next meeting or whatever to approve. The cleanup has to be done by October the 1st. Oh,
Can I get a copy of your report, please?
you want the whole,
Well, just.
Just the litter report?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
do you need a copy of the annual report?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you all.
Thank you, Larry. And without further ado, I want to bring up Chief Deputy Cottrell. He's going to talk about this, the defibrillator. And, John is with the sheriff's office. So David can chime in as long as we're being on the welcome. Welcome.
Basically, it was brought up to me a couple weeks ago. I just wanted to got that information for you. I think everybody just always kind of assumed that they were in place in these buildings, and they're not. Right now, I checked, we can get them through a distributor, it costs $1,700 a piece. I don't know if we get charged tax or not, I'm not sure. Somewhere around $8,500 to put one on each floor, and the 4 house over there, 3 of them, and 2 of them over here. Anybody that comes to the academy is certified to use these. If you don't want them, AD is automatic electronic defibrillators. Years ago, they were a little bit more complicated, now they're pretty simple. As soon as you open the top load up, it's got instructions on how to apply it. The strips, the defibrillator strips, they're already hooked up to leads. You push a button that charges it up and it monitors whether or not the person needs a shocker. With these in place, anybody that's had any EMS training knows that once somebody that has CPR performed on them, it's not very likely that they're going to recover because of the time that it takes EMS to get there. With these in place, if you can do CPR when you get more emergency medical treatment like these within the first 5 minutes, the percentage is going to be like 30%. Instead of somebody that's less than 1%. With the amount of people that we have coming and going on our courthouse and over here in these buildings, if it saves one life, I think the work will work. Looks like the cost will be somewhere around $8,500 to purchase the 5 that we need. One building over there, and the building here.
You said 30%
purchase of 5.
Yes, 3 for the courthouse, actual courthouse, and 2 for the building courthouse here. And actually, the one down here, I would like to see down in this road. Because the most traffic we have down here is going to be during the day, and we're going to have access to this road anyway. And the training can be given by anybody that's a CPR instructor. So anybody that wants to be trained on me, I've got 3 or 4 CPR instructors at the sheriff's office. So we can get anybody certified that wants to be certified. So like I said, for lack of another word, it's pretty done for now. I don't know who owns that building. If it's the county, I would suggest that you put on every floor of every building the county owns. I think we have some kind of, talking to the county attorney, I think we do share some of the liability for these not being in the county owned buildings. With that aside, I think just with the amount of traffic that we have in these buildings, I think it's kind of no-brainer to solve. And they also come for that price, they come with a cabinet, another one wall that has an alarm on it, just another price here. But let's not really think this we're going to do.
When Chief Deputy Carter talked about, I can't find anything that says you legally have to have these. But consider the huge public safety issue, for the volume of people, especially in the judicial center that's there, I think it's probably responsible. That's not.
The price of them would come down so much, they used to be about $6,000 a piece. The price has come down so much. Like I said, they also come with a cabinet that you know the wall, and has the wall.
Mike?
I agree 100% with what Mr. Cox was saying about the judicial center. If anybody's been there on the second floor on Wednesdays, it's a very stressful day. The county attorney can attest to that because sometimes you'll have 150, 160 people out there. If something happened, my only question to that, you said that our officers at Fiscal Academy are trained on this defibrillator. What about the people we have over there that have not been to the academy? Are they certified at
Well, like I
CPR?
said, I don't know, I don't have a running list of who that works over there, is actually certified on, but I have 3 people, or we have 3 people at the sheriff's department that are certified to train in this. It would take us a week to get everybody certified.
That's fantastic. I think all of our security in that building should probably have a CPR.
Well, I would like more than just the security, I would like the clerks and everybody else that works over there. to be
Not a
certified.
bad idea, but I think it is very recommended if we put them in that.
But my whole point of this, if there's one out on the wall here, and somebody that's not certified, technically they're dummy for it. I mean, we pop it open, it's got, everybody can look at the picture and see what to do. It tells you where to put the pads, and what you have to do to turn it on. So I mean, even if there's not somebody in here at the time that's certified, he can jump up and see how to use this thing. I mean, I believe everybody that works for the county, liability wise, probably needs to be certified to do it, but the way they're made now, anybody can use it.
I think it'd be a good investment.
Was your thought to put one on each floor, John? Was your thought to put one on each floor?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to purchase these AEDs for the judicial center and the courthouse.
She mentioned, but do we own this building over there?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, like I said, for the cost of them, I think they need to be in every building. You don't want to put them over there, you do them all at the same time. Like I said, we're giving a discount rate, I think the rate are like $4,600, we're giving them $1,700 fees. And that's what the amount of that.
And Ken's office has close of people, don't you?
Yes, ma'am, and then when the planning and zoning meets up on the 3rd floor, they have to get one be up there 2 times a month.
We don't need a contract on this or anything, because we're going to buy them out.
This was also what was up over there.
Do you want to do that? You want your motion to include?
What Kevin's lost, I don't know if y'all want to put them over there.
Two of those.
How many, was it?
That would be 8 of them. So it's going to go up. I'm sorry. I know what it would be.
No, would that be all? Would that
Yeah.
The only question I have is, does this company supply the medical direction, or are you gonna have, by law, any agency that has an AD must have a medical director that is in charge of the equipment? Now, some companies will offer, some will not.
I have no idea.
And then the other thing to keep in consideration is you're looking at $300 every 3 to 5 years to replace the battery and replacing the chest pads every year, because it will expire. So that's the only thought we would need to check into. If they're not, we can get Dr. Smith, who takes care of our pad program and all the AEDs that we have in the school system and everything, to do it. So, and then, so that will be something. Well, some companies will offer, like the YMCA, they have a doctor at Jewish, but I think there's a couple that these companies actually utilize or have a doctor that will sign off, and that's something we're gonna have to pay attention to, or that's something they'll come in and say, well, that's an additional cost. If we go with a certain type, then what we do with the school system and some of the doctor's offices and some of the businesses that have them in place, they buy the type we want them to, and then that way we can interchange our pads. If they're used, we can just unplug them and plug them into our monitor, or when they expire. So it is a good idea. It's something that was considered about 6 years, 7 years ago, and because of the cost back then, but they are actually sending these home with patients now. So they are actually issuing them to families, and the families will have them in the house. That's how simple they are. So it is a really good idea. I've been working with Judge Burris, who wanted to put one on the 3rd floor to get him a quote. So that is something I can work with John with on, to make sure that there is a medical director involved, or make sure that they get added on to our pad program with Dr. Smith.
Would you suggest that you do that, or that the doctor do that? Could he do that? Work with John?
Either or. It's just the signature of the paper and an agreement that has to be signed that,
Yeah, I would say, just.
Mike do it?
Mike do it, and then your guys can do it.
Yeah, it's fine with me. I didn't know if Mike was suggesting that Dr. Smith do it, or if Mike.
it's something we do as a department, and that what we do also, depending on, we can actually download the information and review whether the appropriate CPR was given or the appropriate steps were taken, and that is a file that we have on hand if it's ever used.
Now, what did you suggest as far as the upkeep of them, once they're in place and they're bought and in place for a year? What is the maintenance on that?
Maintenance will be, and they'll try to sell you a maintenance agreement, but the batteries only last anywhere from 3 to 5 years. They're anywhere from $250 to $400 a piece, depending on the brand that you buy. And then the pads that are placed on the patients are usually expire anywhere between a year and a half, and you have to maintain and keep them.
Does that depend on how much it's been used?
No, and these things usually will just set until they're needed. Now, once they're used, they're gone, and we have to replace them, so we'll have to have some extras around so that if it's used, we have to be able to replenish.
I see, each time it's used, you have to replace it.
Correct.
What expires on the jail for the pad? It's not actually the metal. It's like your pad. It's the jail that's on there. It's
Okay, installed and all the education or whatever needs to be done to get him able to use it.
Magistrate, do you mind putting a $14,000 cost on this?
Or does it include? Yeah, what was it, 13,1?
13,600.
13,600.
You want to start at 13,600
Yes.
or round it off to 14?
Well, if you round it off to 14, you can give Mike permission to provide what he thinks is compatible with what the county already has. So that seems to me make more sense.
Yeah.
Just in case these are, and you're going to have parts for 15 different things. Just you can get what's compatible.
Most of the codes are never changed.
You need connectors or different things. But John's pretty close to the one, I just received a quote the other day for Judge Burris from the company that we use, and it was $1,600. So we're within the ballpark, but I gotta
That
make,
include that case.
it should, it's the same ones that we're putting in the school, but I'll double check and make sure, and make sure Katie gives us a quote based on that. And I may be able to get it cheaper because we're buying more. This was just a quote on
I just
one.
think it makes sense if we're gonna train these people on it, that the schools or wherever they may be, could be all be the same, because it could be sheriff deputies at every one of these locations that are applying it.
That's a very good point. So once they're trained in these, they can be using.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Okay. Very good point.
Think so.
Oh, yeah. Ms. Walker, would you mind reading that?
Okay, rough draft. Motion to purchase for 3 judicial center, 2, or purchase the AEDs. 3 for the judicial center, 2 for the courthouse building, 3 for the annex building, with a cap of $14,000. And for John Cockrell and Mike Phillips to work together on the installation and training. That's right.
Sounds good to me. I'll make a second. I'll second that motion. Okay, any other questions or discussion? Okay. And Ms. Chloe, you call the roll.
Ms. Ashball?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
And Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Ms. Chloe. Chief Deputy, is there anything else? Thank you. Thank you, Mike, for assisting in this endeavor. Okay, let's go back to departmental reports. Mark Gardner's here. Do you have anything, Mark? And Mike Howell is here with our judicial center, dealing with our elevator maintenance parts. Good morning again, Mike. Is there anything going on over there at the judicial center?
I'm here to recap on the last meeting. I presented a couple of proposals on a full service maintenance elevator contract to the court. And I think I made at that time, I made a recommendation that we accept the contract price from Able Elevators for the cost of $3,840 a year. And after making that recommendation, the county attorney had a question on that contract, and I didn't have an answer for it, but I do now. She had said on the 3-year contract, it was open-ended as far as, what's to say next year it won't double or triple or whatever. Well, it didn't really explain that very well. So I went to them, and what they agreed to do was put in writing on this new contract that you have in front of you, or should have. Is that correct? And what they did put in there, the annual cost increase will not exceed 3% for the duration of the contract. So roughly that, if they raised it 3%, and this is not saying it's going to be raised, it's just saying that they cannot raise it above 3%. At the end of the year, that's like $115. So if you add that 3-year contract, that's $345. That's still cheaper than the cheapest bid we had on this contract. So with that in mind, and if there's any other questions, my recommendation still says that we stay with this proposal, or we accept this proposal for an annual contract with the agreement that starts on May the 1st, effective as of May the 1st. They also have in here a 2%. If we pay this in a year in advance, if on May the 1st we decide to pay the entire amount, we can deduct 2% off this.
We can make it done.
It's up to you all, whatever you choose to do.
With this contract, that saves us $1,400 a year, over $1,400 a year for what we're paying now.
Is this one all right with you?
Yeah, we don't need a time. I just didn't want us to be wide open like we were on the garbage contract and it goes sky high.
We're on the other contract.
Right.
This is the only one that you can offer a 3-year contract, everybody else is not. And like cell phone companies, they're locked in forever.
I'll make a motion to accept this contract on the elevator maintenance program.
Thank you, magistrates. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion?
Judge, I'm sorry, do you want to make part of the motion to pay, to go ahead and pay to get the cheaper discount?
Sure, let's, give the treasurer the authority to go ahead and write a check for $3,840. Well, it won't be that much, about 2%, yeah.
2% off.
I just needed to know if you wanted to go ahead and pay the whole thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? And Ms. Tony, may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw? And Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Donna.
That's all I have, somebody left the phone number up there. I'm important, sometime during the day, so. Yeah,
It's a phone?
it's a phone number.
Oh.
Mr. Miller.
Thank you so much, Mike, for all that you do over there.
You're welcome, thanks.
All righty, on new business, we have the first reading of ordinance regarding debt refinancing of jail 3.0. And Smith said they, oh, it's all right.
You want me to tell them why we're not doing that?
Yes, please.
All right, KACO prepared that, they did not send us a summary, it's like 15 pages long. And if we read the whole thing, then we're gonna have to pay to publish all 15 pages. Sorry, sorry about. So we're just gonna let them send us a summary, so we have to publish the whole 15 pages.
Is that what you got over here, Kevin, or is that something different?
That was the summary they sent us this morning, like at 9 o'clock.
Oh.
And after reading it, it was still
Oh.
long.
All right. I'm seeing I have one in front of me here.
Magistrate, we received that, but it's incorrect. The summary we got this morning has an incorrect summary. That's why I failed to remember, okay, it was on the agenda, we took it off the agenda, we put it back on the agenda, and we put it back off the agenda. So. All
So is that
right.
going to be brought up in at the next, meeting?
March the 4th.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, KACO will send us a correct summary.
Right.
Okay, number 2, under new business, first reading of ordinance 12-06, amendment 1, budget amendment. And Ms. Short, will you read us budget amendment, please?
Page 1 of 2, ordinance number 12-06, amendment number 1. An ordinance relating to the annual budget and amendment thereof, whereas the county of Bullitt has realized unbudgeted receipts from the general, road, and jail, be it ordained by the fiscal court of the county of Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky. Section 1, the budget for fiscal year 2012 and 2013 is amended to increase the receipts of the general, road, and jail funds by $2,007,155 to include unbudgeted receipts from account code 01-4132 distilled spirits at $28,405, account code 01-4304 sheriff excess fees of $49,644, account code 01-4727 the clerk and sheriff fee reimbursement of $566,718, account code 01-4733 insurance reimbursement $77,500, account code 01-4901 prior year carryover at $958,815, account code 02-4516 truck license $31,000, account code 02-4519 municipal road aid at $247,500, account code 03-4569 local corrections assistance fund in the amount of $21,970, and account code 03-4633 jail or bond fees at $25,600. Section B is to increase the expenditure account for account code 01-9200-999 reserve account in the amount of $1,681,085. Account code 02-6105-405 for asphalt, $209,400. Account code 02-6105-443 motor vehicle license at $5,000. Account code 02-6105-445 of fuel and oil at $45,000. Account code 02-6105-479 tubes and tires at $10,000. Account code 02-6105-581 water and sewer at $2,600. Account code 02-6105-582 of electric and gas, $1,500. Account code 02-6105-588 equipment maintenance, $5,000. And account code 03-5101-589 building maintenance at $47,570. Page 202, ordinance number 12-06, amendment number 1, section 2, the amounts adjusting the receipts and expenditure account in section 1 are for governmental purposes, approved by the fiscal court of Bullitt, County, Kentucky, this day, the 19th day of February 2013, being the first reading.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp. And in section 1, part A, is this unanticipated funding of $2 million over $2 million? So we did not anticipate this in our original budget. And that's a great thing. $1 million and $7,155. Thank you, Ms. Sharp.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
On section D, the bottom, it doesn't say what is an increase or a decrease.
It is an increase, I apologize, yes.
So if it's an increase,
In revenue, it's also going to be an increase in expenditures.
so the top and the bottom kind of cancel each other.
Exactly.
Okay, we'll have our second meeting on March the 5th, which will be a night meeting, 6 p.m. Our next item on the agenda is presentation of the 2011/2012 Bullitt County Fiscal Court Audit. Donna, do we need approval on this or just present it?
You can't vote it. You can't vote on something the auditor did. You just present it. Except it's in the record. You can put it in the record.
And I do have a statement that needs to go along with the presentation of this, and my statement, done, I'll give this copy, is, due to the reoccurring problems of our audits, I suggest the fiscal court fund hiring a person who can assist county government in performing the requirements brought out in this current audit, as well as the previous ones. It doesn't matter. Thank you, Don, for putting that in there. Okay, you have been presented. But we don't, yeah, Mark said we don't have to motion. Are there any questions or discussion on the audit, other than the statement I just made? If you all want, taxpayers, if you all want a copy of it, you're welcome to have it. We can narrow it down so it's not such a big document. We can give you the whole thing, or pieces of it, or it's your money. Okay, I think that's all I have for today. Am I missing anything?
Well, Judge, I don't want to put Magistrate Ashball on the hot seat, but she just asked me a question, that's why I brought your minutes, about the waste management garbage vote that you all took the last meeting. And the question was whether or not that can be undone and revoted. I think that was the question, right?
Well, I actually found the information in Pioneer News, and I thought it was a very good idea to have, to do away with garbage pick up totally, and I think that was mentioned also in the last fiscal court, and have the animal shelter guys on their way to bring the cardboard over to the recycling center, and also, when they've got garbage, bring it over here and put it in the garbage dumpster thing that's at the judicial center. That would do away with that bill. I know we would have to pay, maybe we could go ahead and let them pick it up for 3 more months, and then do away with the contract, cancel the contract.
Well, my answer would be, clearly you can undo anything you've done by new vote. But if the judge has signed the contract in the interim, which I don't know whether we have or not, and sent it off, then you're in a new contract, and you'll have to look at the penalties on it. I didn't know that part of that.
If it's for 3 years, that would be $100 million, I think, that they would request.
Good point, Magistrate, and since the vote was taken at the last fiscal court meeting, I recall that you and I voted against going along with waste management.
Do you want me to check? I just did see what the penalty would be for the right to contract. That would be just be a 3-month penalty or?
That would be fine. I think if it's all right with the rest of the magistrate, I don't know, I guess we need to take after we hear from you, then we'll take a vote on that, or do we need to do it?
But really, Magistrate, if there is not a majority on this court, why revisit it?
Well, that's true.
I mean, Magistrate, Hunt, Glasgow, or do y'all want us to revisit it?
I have no idea.
I mean, really,
Yes.
it's not for our time yet. If we don't have our vote. I don't hear any positive, I don't hear.
Well, that's just a deal that we can get rid of, our part. That was a very good idea when they actually said that before, and then I got the Pioneer News and one like that. And the reporters put that in there as well. And that was a really good idea to be able to get rid of a bill. That's, you're awesome. Oh, really? I just woke you up. What's your thought, John? Well, there's no good here. A million times a day, you can see a truck. I mean, what's the big deal, knocking off a little bit of cardboard and throwing in a bag of garbage? And,
Remember, I questioned what kind of volume of garbage they would create out there anyway.
not even a,
It's all for that.
Mr. Hawkins stated that they didn't have anything that was stinky or anything, so if they would just get a galvanized garbage can or something, put them in a big bag in there, throw the garbage in there, bring it over here, throw it away, I don't know, it's not really a big deal for them. Of course, I know they said once before, they said that they didn't have time. Well, if they're coming this way, it may take a whole 15 minutes to drop off this stuff. And that can get up to be a pretty good price, even though you all voted for, what, $750 a month? I mean, $750, $175. So, you know, I'm just thinking I really want to think this is a pretty good idea, and they can send out a good sum of money in 3 years' time. Sure. If they want to. So should we go ahead and make a motion and then see how much we make?
You go ahead and let our office, let the convention judge.
Are we going to motion and see if we have the votes, or, and then go do and see it, or do you all want to wait until we find out what it's going to cost us? That might be a better thing. Yeah.
But I don't want my office to have to go through a bunch of hoops if there's absolutely no support for this.
Yeah, just, I'll just do call and ask them if we change their mind, decide we want to do
It
it.
should be on the contract. There should be a termination clause in the contract.
Have we gotten the contract already? Oh, from them? Oh, well, yeah, do
I mean,
the.
it's the same contract, I mean, you don't see the contract.
Oh,
It's
okay.
already signed, so
Do you
Bullitt.
recall, no?
And the writing on those are, you
can make it back to last
Well, we know if we call, if we cancel a contract for this last contract for 3 months, it's gonna cost us $1,000. But my thought was to go ahead and pick up for 3 months, and then,
yeah, but I think it's, if my memory serves, if you got out of your contract for your term, our term is 3 years, it costs you 90 days.
oh, okay.
I think it's 3 times the 175, but I don't want to quote that, that's
what I'm
right.
thinking too.
The reason it was 1,000 before from our bills for
Oh, okay.
So our base bill now is like 175, so we would nothing.
Deputy Judge and Magistrate Ashford, what do y'all think about this? Let's invite a waste management person to come in here, speak to all of us at one time, and that way we'll hear it from their mouth.
Well, if the other nation's not inclined to get rid of, to do that, then bring it in, but I just thought it was a really good idea to get rid of the deal. But that's just my idea. That's a lot of work on So,
I think my question too would be, Rudy, since Jenny's not here, would that be a feasible solution to bring the
Well,
trash?
the only thing I could pop in my mind is what we're gonna haul it in. It would have to fit in the cage, through the cage door that we showed the dogs and cats in.
in the pickup truck,
Yeah. So
Is the whole-
they got cages on it.
is the whole bed a cage?
It's big enough for a dog or a cat to go through, but I don't know about garbage. I'm not saying we can't do it, I'm just saying we have to think about that and look at it.
So we don't have an open pickup truck over there?
No, but the solid waste coordinator put in for the pickup truck, and he could go out and pick it up.
Is that Mr. Hatfield? Well, he's not here, so I guess we can go ahead and do that.
Well, that's even better. Let's all vote for Mr. Hatfield.
There's another thing to
Well,
I mean, I just think it would be, we can always come up with a truck. I mean, Mr. Steiner's sitting there, he's got several open jobs.
I'll do whatever y'all say.
Okay. So,
do you want to make a motion, to see if there is support on this court? I'm not hearing any support, but do you want to make a motion and have it in the record?
yeah, they were ready to do away with the deal. I'll make a motion for us to have the garbage from the animal center, brought over to the, waste, recycling bin, and also garbage to go in the dumpsters here. And, to see what the penalty is for us to do away with the contract that we've done committed to.
Go ahead, Deputy Judge, I see you have questions in your head.
Are you making your motion to take the garbage now, or is going to the dumpster there?
No, not if we can do the 3 months, if they'll come for 3 months.
Your motion really just is to do
For
the
the new-
research and find out
Yeah, the new
what
contract.
needs to be done, and then at that time.
Regarding the new contract. I'm sorry, Donna. It's on my motions, it's had to be changed.
We'll let Donna read that, so.
Take a lot of
Oh, you want to let her read it?
No, I'll second it. Oh, I just want her to read it. I don't even want discussion.
She's still writing.
Well, I'm still thinking, we've done a lot of discussions since I started. At first I had said we can have the garbage from the animal shelter, from the dumpster here and at the Fiscal Center. But we're gonna change that and let Lisa pursue.
What the cost would be to get out of the
What the
contract.
Yeah.
Checking, I'm check with waste management.
To continue this contract we're on right now for 3 more months, correct?
It's probably a termination clause, which just says 90 days. So if you just terminate it, you say we want to, we want to get out. You get 3 months of service. You don't have penalty. If you say I want out now, you get penalty with no service. So you just send a letter of termination. I think that will ever work out before you get your 90-day service. That would be the end of it.
Well, is that what you're saying you want to happen if that's?
Well, I would say that would be the more appropriate thing to do rather than just say goodbye today and then hand them a check for 3 months.
We may have changed it.
You know,
But I thought you just wanted me to find out and then report back to you at the next meeting. Is that not?
well, that's what I thought too, but that's not the way the motion is.
Well, if we do something now, we have more than, I mean, we've got 90 days to cancel that other contract. That's what you're saying?
Well, they get money.
It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of confusing right now, I'm not sure what we're saying. It sort of sounds like we're telling the animal people to take care of their own garbage, but we're going to pay them to go out there and pick up an empty dumpster, you know.
Mhm.
So I think if we just kind of at least determine what the contract says, and if there is a 90-day out clause, then you just have to send them a notification of termination to continue with their service for 3 more months, it'll cost you different. Whereas if you terminate it today, they're gonna say, well, you gotta pay 3 months, you're gonna have the money.
That's what I was saying, is that animal check, well, kind of what I was saying, I know it was all confused with poor Donna, but it was for them to continue for 3 months, have them pick it up, and then start the they could, from their property.
You will continue with the service that you have for 3 months. Hopefully you can terminate it at the end of that 3 months, and then you have no show.
Oh, okay.
Mike, go ahead, Mike Cal has a comment.
Okay, well, I don't want to make this any more complicated than what it is, but has anybody ever asked Jimmy Miller what kind of waste goes in that? I know at the last meeting they said animal waste didn't. That is my understanding, grapevine news, and I know how you can't throw that very far, but cat litter goes into it, and as being part of a person that takes out trash to these dumpsters, use cat litter in the best smelling stuff. So I think we ought to ask the animal control guy.
Somebody is taking garbage to the dumpster, and down, and goes the garbage.
Not out of the judicial center, it's a 15-minute process. There's a lot of garbage goes in that thing, and we're limited.
Those girls have to do that?
I do that. I do that. And we're limited on dumpster space back there.
Close it in on your nose. Well, do you all have one? A dumpster?
Yeah, here for the courthouse? Yeah.
We have 3 in the facility. I mean, I'm sure it'll work, but Yeah, my thing, I guess, is let's just find out exactly what goes into it before we worry about.
What goes into it, Mr. Hoffman?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
The only thing I said, it didn't create a smell. I think that was all I said.
Right.
Of course, now, my smelling might not be as accurate as it is.
Maybe they're just throwing the cat litter, but does it decompose?
But everything is in plastic.
Do you have your dumpster in here where they still have to go?
You'd still have to pay
They
for
have their own dumpster. You know, there's a It's Mark.
My personal input with it too is if you all plan on having them bring the garbage here and throwing our three dumpsters, we've got pretty sizable loads here as it is. So,
What size is your dumpster?
It's an 8-yard.
I will take responsibility for most of the trash in this building.
Yeah.
You probably agree.
And there's days we come in and the trash is in the dumpster, don't even know where it came from.
How often do, well, I'm sure that people drive by and throws in garbage, but how often do they get it?
Once a week here, twice for the annex, because the annex, the 911 building and the library also share that dumpster. So,
And once a judicial center.
once at the judicial center and once here.
I'll ask them to leave it as it is. For 3 years or 5 years, they don't have to leave.
Well, then if you want to have to pay something out, I don't know what it would be feasible. I just thought the dumpster, they leave it every once a week, we don't be full.
Yes, I checked with Jimmy Miller when we started doing this, and he says he fills a 4-yard dumpster. And now they're brought an 8-yard dumpster, and they're picking it up every other week. They've doubled the size of the dumpster, but they're only picking it up every other week to cut down.
What have you got here, 4 or an 8?
8.
8.
1 8?
Yeah, it's right down next to the generator, and it's pretty cramped now that we put that big generator in too, so size-wise, going bigger, I probably don't have room down there for that.
Well, even if you didn't run, we'd have to pay more for that size of a. Well, good thought, on bad. Oh, we got a motion on the floor. Well, but if it's gonna cost more, I mean, if they're gonna have to put bigger dumpsters in, it's not gonna be feasible, you're still gonna have to pay more money. I don't know if it would amount to $75 a month? I don't know if they would amount to that much or not, but.
Do you want to go ahead and let us pursue the penalty, if there are any penalties for?
And I guess find out what are 12, do they, oh, you said, you don't.
Yes, Gary, go ahead.
The size of the dumpster, you're only talking about a plastic garbage bag from there, because the cardboard goes to recycling center, so that when they fill it, 4-yard dumpster or 8-yard dumpster, most of it, you take the cardboard out, it goes to recycling.
That's true. That's a thing.
The other part of my suggestion is, I don't know what their workload is over there, I don't know if they're, I mean, there's a lot of animals in Bullitt County, I know they're running roads a lot and all that kind of stuff. It is time consuming to break down cardboard and bust all that recycle down, and plus like Rudy said, that, you know, the complications of getting it in their trucks and having a truck go over there from the road department, or, you know, all that stuff that's new. Is it worth their time right in the middle of doing that, and they're gonna get a dog call or something, you know, I don't know.
Well, do they, Rudy, don't they have 3 guys that's employed over there?
Yes, ma'am.
Make another job.
So Rudy, do you want to go ahead and still see if there will be a penalty, run this motion through, or do you want to stop the motion? This is the CFP.
I think we should go ahead and see if it would be feasible. Mike. Well, I That's what you should have first name under.
Just higher than mine.
If you have a, do they have such things as the 12-foot ones?
I'm not sure what size containers they have. I know they have bigger than what we have,
Oh,
but I'm not sure what the size that would be.
But Mark said he didn't know if we would have space.
well, not here, not something over there.
But you know, even what you said, you look down and you see a Bullitt County truck almost any given day out here. But is it really worth $3.89 a gallon for gas then to start trucking it there and here?
Well, he would.
Jimmy's truck.
I'm just thinking that they could just drop it by when they're pulling, you know, back and forth one or the other. Oh,
Why don't we leave it like it is and spend this valuable time on the handicap?
Yes. Thank you, Lauren.
We
Yes,
run right over them.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, what you saying?
We run right over the handicap. Let's leave the garbage like it is and help them.
well, we've done something. March 5th, yeah.
Let's see what Constable of
We can make another job, director of cardboard. You know, we'll spend money, so.
That's fine.
Steve Thomas or
Just scratch it.
Okay, do we want to go on with this motion?
No, just scratch it.
Just scratch the whole thing, okay, thank you. Scratch the whole thing then, Bob. Okay, we do need to go into executive session.
Judge, I'd like to ask the court to take a recess till around 11:15, and hopefully, people we need appropriate information will be here.
All right, I'll make a motion that we take let's say 15 minutes. We won't.
They will be here in 15 minutes. The earliest they'll be here is 11:15.
You know what's going on here? Hopefully they'll be here.
Either that or go off for a special meeting and come out.
Terry, what?
No, that's all right.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Folks, what we're doing is we're going to recess till 11:15. We need to go into executive session over litigation. And, but the folks that are coming can't be here until 11:15 or 11:30. So that's what we're doing. I don't have any other business to bring before the court. If you want, you're welcome to stay, and you're welcome. Hold on, vote is only
I just want to thank,
I'm sorry, we got a motion on the floor.
We don't have to talk on the phone, making a harm to the issue.
okay, I just want to thank Mr. Hoffins for taking care of the problem that I brought to his attention in January.
Has it laid down there? I like that.
Out on the hall, so I want to thank him, it's been cleaned up, and I sure appreciate it. Because I tried with the people that's supposed to have taken care of this for about 7 months, got nowhere, and he's already taken care of it.
Here, thank you.
And look, do we have a signed contract yet with Chris Laurie and Associates? Is that done? It is done, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jerry.
You're welcome.
We don't even know he's lost it probably.
And I thank you for giving us attaboy. Anything else before we go into business? Come on, Dennis.
First of all, I'd like to thank the city of Fox Chase for sending all the representatives. They've been coming for quite a while. And I think it behooves the whole county to send some representatives from their cities and also the special tax districts. I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Anything else from anybody? Hey, ready to go take a break in 15? And, a motion to take a break.
Oh, yeah. Get you guys a job. Good to come coffee out
Coming here to see you popping off. I got up off the little oratory, they won't listen to me. There you go.
Wednesday.
This guy was here. He said,
This is what he said.
yeah, because I can't. I said, Joel. Come over. Kenny made that mistake on the occupational house. And he's supposed to call and report that. It has to be, it's a Kenny has turned over.
Hey, you want to go forward?
No, we're suing Kenny. She made a mistake.
You all have.
Yeah. Well, we might.
KACO provides a lawyer for Kenny. So that's what we're talking about, is the occupational law, Shepherdsville occupational lawsuit. The city of Shepherdsville lawsuit. I don't think Joe was going to be here.
Now, they didn't have their
Oh, yeah, it is. But then they all go on, you want to see here.
This sloppy warehouse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I saw it on TV.
Basically what,
It's one of the. There's four sermons to get on it, or one sermon to get on it. I think it's one sermon. Well, it might be in 4 bits, but I think I heard all 4.
That shows exactly.
This guy said, you said. Yeah.
Make it easier for people,
Yeah, but I mean, not.
There's no traffic. Yeah, it's coming down with the traffic problems. So, anyway, we send that. This is what we're going to be addressing at our March 24th meeting. This makes no sense by itself. It makes a lot of sense.
What's your guy, he's gonna say this.
And planned it in there and input.
I make a motion to go back into open session.
Multiple seconds, Donna. And any discussion? And you can call the roll, Donna.
Sashbaugh?
yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell? Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I'll hand it over to you. I'll make the motion when we take a session.
Second.
No, I'll hand it over to you all to make the.
I'll let the go into executive session.
Second.
Should I have to give a number? Oh, John got it?
Yeah.
Never
And
mind.
the number is KRS 61.81, 1C, and KRS 618101F. Those are for litigation and personnel matters.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? It's great to see Mayor Ellis here. Hi, Mayor Ellis.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. And Dominic, call the roll.
Ms. Ashbaugh?
and a second. Any questions or discussion? And Ms. Dawn, can you call that roll again?
Ms. Ashball?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I can't ever say a word again. She wrote us a notice. This, I didn't write anything. And, where we were just there.
Executive session?
In executive session, we have decided to make an offer.
We need to do it by motion. You want to let Johnny?
Oh, go ahead then.
I make a motion that fiscal court make an offer to City of Shepherdsville in order to settle the occupational tax question.
Are you finished?
I think so.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, Attorney, is that an appropriate motion?
Yeah, we don't have to get a figure on a pending litigation until the settlement, until they have agreed to set the terms.
And the last word that the magistrate said was question. It's really not a question, it's litigation.
Yeah, it's litigation.
So, John, can you change the word question to litigation?
I make a motion for fiscal court to make an offer to the City of Shepherdsville to settle the occupational tax litigation.
Are we waiting on a second?
No, it has been seconded.
We just tell them to call the roll.
Oh, do we have a second?
Yes.
Who seconded it?
I did.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear a second. I just heard a motion. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on this motion? And Ms. Fuller, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashball?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any questions or discussion on that motion? And John, call that roll.
Ms. Ashball?
Yes.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Bradshaw?
Yes.
And Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
See you later. All right.
Let's see.
Never